Hi, Steve.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Steve. Hey,
Hello.
Jean.
Hello.
I don't think we have Utkarsh today, but we'll give him a minute. I think that's the only one that I have on here. And I think we will go ahead and get started. We covered quite a bit last week, so let's just go over what we talked about last week. Arvind gave us a status on this plugin, which we're probably going to be following up again, and complying to the Jenkins standards for that. If there were any issues or any concerns that we should be aware of and that bring to the architecture committee. Let's just start there. Arvind, were you able to get any work done on that in the last 2 weeks?
I am still figuring it out how to integrate Jenkins with Ortelius. So I will take some more time. Probably give the update in the next architecture meeting.
Okay. Hey, Brian, do you know anybody that might be able to give us some direction on that?
On what, Tracy?
On creating, working with Arvind to create a plugin. Jenkins plugin.
Yeah, I'm talking. Let me check with Oleg. I mean, I'm sure someone that can help provide some technical specification guidance or
Yeah, exactly. Just to walk through it. And
yeah,
we talked about the Jenkins, there's a Jenkins plugin for the CD events, but I don't know what it does because there's no listener. So I'm not sure what that CD events plugin actually does. So we were looking at that as well.
What it does is it creates an event to nowhere.
That's what I thought. So it's got an event, but it doesn't have, nobody's listening for it.
Right. And it's just going to, the event that it's going to do is I started a workflow and I finished a workflow. That's the extent of it for the most part.
Okay.
Steve, I have a question for you. So like when we deploy any application to Jenkins, we don't need the deployment. We have to send that data to Ortelius dashboard, right? And based on that data, Ortelius will show various kind of information.
Right. So
So basically, Ortelius is application agnostic. It only deals with the data.
well, we add in our command line step to record when you create a component, and also our command line step will do record when a deployment happens. So you have to add us to the pipeline.
Got it. Does we have any integration documentation in Ortelius?
Yes, yeah. It's part of the, I think, your first steps, Tracy, that you put together.
It's a PDF. I was reading it. I've added it to my blog too.
There's one out there.
The Jenkins marries Ortelius.
Okay, so if you go to the documentation,
I'm gonna book time with Steve because it's bombing out on JSON on the JSON part. It's trying to do some JSON stuff and it bombs out.
Okay, just let me know.
Sasha, can you?
Yeah, I'll book sometime.
Can you post a link to your Jenkins Marys Ortelius blog?
Yeah, sure.
A couple minutes.
I'm gonna update it because the current build pipeline stuff there is not correct. Well, I've had to tweak it to make it work on my environment.
Okay.
It's just small things, but you can definitely have it because I'm gonna update it because it goes towards my Hacktoberfest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here is the doc, so everybody knows. And I put it in the and it's in the so there's a couple of places that you can see. So here's the CI/CD support page, And it talks about exactly what Steve's already done for the plugin. Or for what we would call our plugin on our side. It may not be a plugin that's ready for the Jenkins library, and that's what we need to really start figuring out. And this not only shows you how to, it shows you how to add SIFT as well. So if you're not generating an SBOM, it shows you how to do that. And these steps have to be added to the workflow. Then there is a tutorial. The tutorial that it doesn't require anything because it's just looking at what we already have out there. But you certainly, I'm just reminding everybody that this tutorial is here and go through it. Jing and Jesse have gone through this and hopefully have caught any mistakes that they did update. And then there is a doc, a PDF that now I don't remember where that PDF might be.
I'll find it for you because I was using it.
Yeah,
I've
there's a
been using it.
PDF that's called, it's a proof of concept PDF that shows you how to attach everything.
Yeah, that's what I've been using. It's great.
Yeah.
Let me get it for you. Ah, yeah, Jenkins.
I may have come off. I thought I added it back though, but you found it.
Yeah, I've been using it because and I've built Ortelius on my own on my PyCloud.
Sasha, can you share the link in the chat?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it still.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find it too. But these are the
No,
things that
it's
we should realize
yeah.
that these are some things that make it more difficult. The one that the POC that Sasha's talking about is more complex. It's really about building everything in your own environment. And I've got to work on this website today. This is on my task to do, get this to do some updates to this. I don't know where we would have put that.
Yeah, and I
I do
will.
have it. Just gotta find it. Sorry, Ron.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, Tracy, I have 2 meetings this week with Core Jenkins people, so I'll be talking to Oleg this afternoon. I'm basically trying to either recruit people to come participate, Jenkins people to come participate in Ortelius architecture and outreach. And if I cannot get them to do that, I'm looking to at least get some clear guidance. So I think either Oleg or Darren Pope are people that I'll be able to plug with. I think it was Arvin that was.
Yes.
Okay.
That would be good.
Yeah,
So
I got it
there's
for you.
there's the
thanks a lot.
POC. Oops. Let me go back to my.
Yeah, that's the one. I got it from the PyPy package.
Okay.
I got it from here, the PyPy org. I'll stick
So
this into my blog too.
so either one should help you understand what needs to be done to do an integration. This POC is a little bit more involved. It talks about installing the it shows how to install Ortelius on-prem if you wanted to. It talks about installing the CI/CD pipeline, and then it talks about how to gather the CLI data from the TOML file using a TOML file, and that's basically what's documented in this this section here. That's under integrations CI/CD support.
Yeah, and that's where I need to talk to Steve. It's because on my pipeline, it's having a problem decoding the JSON.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you're finding things.
Yeah, Steve, can we do these architecture meeting more often, or like the co-working sessions? Because since we are doing a lot of coding stuff, and 2 week a lot of time for the meeting.
Yeah, we can do it more often. I'll have to check what day for my schedule will work, but we can do it more often.
Yeah, like we all can join you, me, Sasa. I will also invite Utkarsh and we will co-working on the same stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, the next thing we talked about, the Christmas holidays. Anybody have a thought? We were gonna make a decision today on the Christmas holiday gathering. And what we had
I
talked
will
about is just doing our beer and donuts and then having one person do some kind of a training.
I think if we
I
promote it enough, that will work fine. And I think, for example, some of the stuff Sasha's done or some of the things Steve's works on are both very, very good, but maybe, there may be somebody else too.
Yes.
How much time were we figuring on providing for the training?
I don't think we should do any training that's more than an hour and a half tops.
Yeah, I suggest allowing an hour and a half. A lot of times you have to start with the assumption that many people going into the training don't have as much background as we'd hope. So you have to start a little more gently. So my experience has been it's hard to get very deep in an hour.
What we've done in the past to try to deal with is say take an hour, and then even though it may be one instructor continuously, divide it in two chunks, like a fundamentals and advanced. That way you don't end up losing out on the people that already have the knowledge. They know they can jump back in the next time. So maybe we do 2 45-minute sessions.
Something like that. And if we promote it that way and talk about why this will matter to people attending, I personally think that ought to work.
Sounds like a
And we could do
hackathon.
some, we could do something super simple. This here, I doubt if most of us have gone through, not this POC, but the quick tutorial. We could have somebody just walk everybody through signing up, going into the open source domain, exploring the domain, then going through and understanding how the components are managed, viewing a component. I'm going to actually update this, so I'm going to add more of the vulnerability tracking that we're doing. Generate a SBOM for the Ortelius application. I think that this probably would be fine, and I'm going to freshen this up, this tutorial, so it goes into more of how to find a vulnerability that may be lurking in your code or in your production runtime environments. So if somebody wants to take this on, I mean, I'm happy to update the tutorial, and it would just literally be leading the process. It's a simple one. It gets everybody's head into Ortelius.
So and Tracy, it sounds like you're saying you'd frame it or message it around setting up Ortelius to find a vulnerability. A takeaway would be we could help them find a vulnerability in their application stack.
Yeah, find the Ortelius, find the new vulnerabilities in Ortelius. Yeah, how to locate a vulnerability, because that's what the tutorial is doing.
Can we do a integration demo, like either using Jenkins, create a application and send the data to Ortelius?
We could. That's going to be a bigger task. Now, the thing about it is, Arvin, is if we want to do a demo, we can also add a demo to the schedule, which is great. But if we do a tutorial, what we have found, if the cloud is already not set up for everybody to log in and actually do some work, it takes it forever to get everybody's environment set up. So I think a tutorial to actually set up a Jenkins server or a Jenkins plugin may be hard to do on everybody's local machine.
So, but could we, for this type, and these are like what we do at the Jenkins workshops, And I'm not going to be able to do it, so I'll have a bunch of great ideas, but I'm not going to be. Can we just prep containers? Like, what I think there'll be power in doing is talking to the Jenkins audience about how can they integrate with Ortelius to solve a problem, and that'll get a wider audience potentially out there. And if the setup is a problem, is it realistic to create a container image that people can just download and start from there?
And I believe that's the case, right? We have that?
We don't have a Jenkins a container up and running and all configured and connected together with Ortelius.
Started building one though. Arvin and I started building one with Docker Compose. But
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
it's not finished. Yeah.
Let's see if we can't get that done then by the end of the month, because I want to start advertising what we are going to do, and November is going to fly by, and we'll be in December in no time. So I want to make sure we can do something and get it and make it successful and not be pushing anybody too hard. So
Yeah, I think we need 1 or 2 co-working sessions, maybe 2-3 hours, and we can make a lot of progress.
okay.
Same on the work that Sasa is also doing for both of the
But
tasks.
and then what would we do with that? We would just show people how to download that container, and then what would the training include?
They would
They
just
have
need
to only
Docker
run,
Compose.
yeah, they have to only run Jenkins locally, and then they will log into the Ortelius dashboard to grab the data or to see the data.
Okay.
So they only need Docker
But
container.
there would be no data in there because it would just be an empty install of Ortelius.
No. So like the demo application that we will be working on for the demo, we will give them the repo link.
So that we would have them, would they, so we have a Jenkins running, would they then connect their workflow to Jenkins with the with our plugin or our CLI?
Yes, but first we have to test the workflow. For that, we need some time.
Yeah, so in order to make it work, what we would need them to do is connect. They'd have to have Docker installed locally. They'd bring up, do the Docker Compose to bring up Jenkins, and then they would need to connect Jenkins to a Git repo, and from there they would be able to build an artifact, and the next step would you'd probably want to walk through adding the Ortelius CLI into their pipeline, so they're now going to generate data that we're going to capture in Ortelius SaaS version. And then from there, you'd probably want to go into the next part of looking at the vulnerability, what was actually captured. So you kind of go tour around your components that were created at that level. That's the basic steps.
I don't think we could do that in an hour and a half.
It's a lot of work to do in an hour and a half. Like Tony said, if somebody doesn't have their machine set up, it can go sideways really quick at that level. It's not having people install stuff and get things running locally, even though it is Docker. It's hard to do without having a lot more time and resources to handle problems that arise, because they always will.
Oh yeah, big time.
So then, if it's completed before the meetup, we can write a tutorial, and someone from our team can follow the tutorial.
And be the support. So are you sort of saying if we we test it with someone from our team, or we
I
prep
almost,
people.
I almost
Yeah.
think we should just do this as a demo.
I think there's two things. If you want to do a tutorial, I think what Tracy mentioned about signing up for the Ortelius SaaS, going through and investigating vulnerabilities and kind of navigating and finding things would be something easy to do. No setup on their side other than a user ID logon, which would be no big deal. That kind of tutorial would be a lot easier to manage in an hour to hour and a half. The Jenkins plugin, or connecting Jenkins and Ortelius together with a pipeline and a Git repo and all that, I think would make for a better recorded demo that we can then push out for people.
I think so too. So I think what we should do is, for now, if we could get, we need one person, let's just put it that, one person, to have Jenkins installed locally. Basically, we just need to walk through how to update the plugin, how to connect the plugin. I think that would be the best thing. Because then we take out the first three steps, these three steps. Right, because that is those are setup steps, and then this is Ortelius steps. And this is the steps just to get Jenkins running.
You think you could zoom a little, Tracy? I don't know if
yeah, absolutely.
I'm blind as a bat, so it's probably me. And your screen is a couple of blocks wide too, but let's see.
Is that better?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, so these first ones run the workflow in the container. They would need to have Docker installed locally. They would bring up Docker Compose to bring up Jenkins. They would connect Jenkins to a Git repo and build an artifact. That's all Jenkins stuff. So what we really need is someone who can do a demo that has this stuff already done and then just show the next steps. Now, this may be the plugin, or it could be the just the CLI as we have it.
Sasa, have you created the Ortelius tab in your blog?
In my blog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna update it. Well, yeah, I have. I've done the Ortelius blog, but I'm gonna update it now with how I've configured it on my side. It's still the same. And then and then once I just need to meet with Steve this week, sort out the JSON decoding, encoding. I'm just using the demo app that Steve used in the PDF. That's all I'm using. I'm using the same things that Steve used, but I'm just mimicking what he did, but on my Kubernetes system. Yeah.
So I think what we have to assume is that if we're catering to the Jenkins folks, they all already know how to do this part. So I think what we would have to do is do a demo of how to do this part. And I think that we would, the way we would frame the tutorial would be something like using, I want to say something about Jenkins. I don't know, Jenkins can be a DevSecOps tool, or finding real-time vulnerabilities with Jenkins and Ortelius. Oops. Or something of those, some title of that kind. And this could just be a demo.
Yeah, like without the plugin, if we are able to integrate it, we can give the demo first to the Jenkins community.
I think so.
And
I think that, yeah, and not worry about it, not do this part up here. Just do a demo on this part down here.
Yeah, and ask the Jenkins community to like how we can expand. Maybe they can help us in creating the plugin, or maybe even better, a new idea.
And we
Yeah,
can
and
record this. This doesn't have to be done live.
Yes.
yeah. And just as a side note, my blog shows you how to configure Jenkins to use GitHub. I'm just putting that out there. How to connect your GitHub to your Jenkins. But there's no way they're going to be able to do this, like what Steve said, in an hour and a half. It's just too much.
Yeah.
That's why I think that if we can do a demo that just shows these 3 steps, I think we'll be
No, I
okay.
agree with you completely. Yeah, I totally agree with you. It'll be too much if you try and do more than that. Exactly.
Because if you look at these steps are not too onerous, and these steps would also include sift.
Yeah.
So to generate an SBOM.
Can't wait to get it working on my cluster.
So Arvin, what I think you should do is work on getting this done for yourself on a local machine.
Okay, I will
Just get
do that.
Jenkins running on a local machine.
Yes.
And there's sample data. There's sample. You can actually connect it to Ortelius and be running, do everything with Ortelius. The other thing you could do, I know it sounds really radical, is you could connect it to the Jenkins repo, and we could start generating vulnerabilities for Jenkins, right?
Oh, I like that one. That is great.
Yeah. The the main problem for me was like how to connect the Jenkins with the Ortelius. Because I follow the docs, I read the doc, and it was like how to integrate it with an application. So it was a little confusing for me before.
Yeah,
And now
I
then I
think you could.
understand that Ortelius is application agnostic. It only needs the data. So I need to deploy an application to Jenkins, and I have to send that data to Ortelius.
You should be
So
literally, you should be able to, Arvin, you should be able to set up an entire build environment for Jenkins locally.
You can.
And if you did do that, then we in your environment, we would connect the SaaS version of Ortelius to your Jenkins workflow. That your Jenkins workflow that's building Jenkins. I want to make that clear. And then we would be we would have a repo for Jenkins and Ortelius on the SaaS version.
still a little bit confusing.
Or you could,
Like,
instead of Jenkins building Jenkins, you could have Jenkins build Ortelius, whichever is going to be easier. I have not looked at the build process for Jenkins.
Well, I think, maybe a goal for us would be to be building all of the CDCF projects, or not building them, but yeah, to have an environment where we were connected to those their builds, and being able to have Ortelius start looking at the vulnerabilities that those tools have.
yeah. And one thing I can do, like Steve and Sasa, if we need a global Jenkins environment, I can deploy Jenkins to an EC2 instance or like in Azure Cloud, and I will share, and we all can work on that.
How do you have access to Azure?
I have my own access to Azure also.
Okay. However you want to do it, local or on a cloud, but let's see if you can get, let's,
For
I
yeah,
think we should if you can get these 3 parts done by next week, then I believe that we can get these 3 parts done, and Arvin, you can give us a little demo of these 3 steps. How to connect, walk through the plugin, connecting SIFT. It's basically walking through these steps right here. Integrations. CI/CD.
I will give it a try today
It
and
would be,
tomorrow.
yeah,
Like,
it would be,
yeah,
it's these, here's what you have to add to the workflow you created. These,
yeah, as an environment variable.
I think that it's doable. But let's see how far you get by our next meeting. And I'm going to work on freshening up that tutorial, and I will plan to do a class to do the tutorial. If Sasha and Arvin, if you guys plan on pulling together a recorded demo of the CLI. And then we'll have
We
that.
can do
Those
that.
would be the two things that we'll do for Christmas.
Can I get a Jenkins bobblehead?
I wonder if those are around. They used to have them.
Really?
Somebody,
Wow.
somebody created them. Somebody was giving them away at a show.
I want to get the Ortelius bobblehead. That'll be so cool.
That would be really fun.
Yeah.
You know, we have a balloon fiesta here, and on the news they were talking about what would be your favorite, special shape balloon. One of the construction companies called Duke City Cement or something like that. They had it this year. They did a massive cement truck. I mean, this is larger than several homes when they blow it up.
Jeez.
And I was like, I'd want a giant flying saucer with Ortelius's head sticking out of it.
Totally. That'd be amazing.
Wouldn't that be fun to have a flying saucer hot air balloon?
That'd be so cool.
Yes.
People might need to take out insurance in case it's a real UFO.
It'd be fun. It would be really fun. Okay. I'm going to just put tasks so we don't get too far from here. Tracy to work on a tutorial based on the quick start. Sasha Arvind to work on a recorded demo of Ortelius CLI or plugin, whichever one we have set up. The reason why the plugin is important, and I don't know what it is required to get it published, but we need to get published in the Jenkins plugin library, which we are not. Okay, I think that we have beat that down pretty well. I think that's, let's see where we are in the next 2 weeks, and we'll go from there. I want to take a few minutes here before we get too far down the road and talk about LinkedIn articles. Tony has been working with Jing and Kate to publish their LinkedIn article. Tony, you want to give us a kind of an update on your thoughts? I know we didn't get a chance to talk about it last week, so I wanted to make sure we did this week.
He's not in the call.
Oh,
Yeah,
did
he had to leave.
He
Yeah, he had
said
to leave.
maybe Jing could speak to it. He had called that out.
Okay.
He
Jing, why
said
don't you give
Jing-
us a chat? Yeah, on what's happening on that front.
Oh yeah, we basically took the blog and then adding a few more LinkedIn for Ortelius, and I got posted. So I think Tony also helped to repost it, so we got quite lots of viewers. And also, I think one of the questions raised, people was asking about LDAP. So thanks, Tracy. You shared, the commercial version actually will provide what they wanted.
And they posted this blog. Let me show you what blog they posted. Blog. Sorry, our dog is for some reason having a hissy fit about something.
I was wondering, but
Heck is that, right?
I was like, is it
Isn't this
the wheel of a
funny?
wheelbarrow or is it a dog?
I
Talk
never-
about it, man.
that's the Frenchie making that noise.
No, it's the pit bull. Okay, so this is the blog that they turned into a LinkedIn.
Nice.
Jing, can you show us what it looks like in LinkedIn? If I stop sharing.
Sure. Let me check.
Yeah, she
Okay.
did get questions on it, so we know we have eyes on it. So I think Tony's suggestion of turning in some of our blogs into LinkedIn pages is a great idea. And Sasha, you have a really set of blogs that you could turn into LinkedIn pages. But
Here you
I
guys
will,
see?
yeah, that looks awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I put the icon here as well. So just make sure can draw people's attention. Hopefully we can get more people interested to contribute.
Would you cut and paste that link and put it in the chat, and I'll put it in the doc.
Sure.
Yeah,
So everybody
I will
should
also
go there.
reshare.
Yeah, everybody should go there and share it and push it out. But this may be a really good way for us to take advantage of some of the great articles we already have written and get more eyes on them. And Sasha, yours are your educational ones will get a lot of eyes, I'm sure of it. So you could
Thanks,
do,
Jesse.
you could post one of these, you know, once a week. You could do and go through 7 weeks. You would have an article posted that goes through the whole process.
Okay, cool.
And I think that we should be looking at any other possible. Let's look through the blogs, and if you've submitted a blog, and I'm going to send this message out to everybody. If you have submitted a blog, this would be a really good way to get more eyes on your LinkedIn page and get more eyes for Ortelius. It's a really good DevRel exercise, and I'm so glad that Tony brought it up. Let me just write this, what I just said. Put the blog link in there. Chat. And was it hard to do, Jing?
No, not really. I guess just to touch up a bit because we have gone through the review. So just make sure, yeah, the audiences. So make sure, previously was mainly for Ortelius, but we just touched up kind of for wider audiences. So yeah, not really. In terms of publishing in LinkedIn, it's quite easy though, straightforward process.
Yeah. So if anybody's looking for any other Hacktoberfest activities, I would say that we blogs on Ortelius and vulnerability tracking.
Tracy, do you think are those okay for Jesse to work on? He's on holiday next 3 weeks.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Because then what's going to happen? He's going to have to go research it, and in the process, he's going to learn. I tell everybody the best reasons to write a blog is to teach yourself.
Yeah, he will
100%.
become the youngest member of Ortelius.
But it's gonna be quite
Jeez.
steep learning curve, though. He doesn't even know what DevOps is.
It does, you know, it won't matter to him. What will matter is learning what a software bill of material report is, and how we find vulnerabilities through OSV dev. So if he's walked through that tutorial, I'm going to improve the tutorial so that stands out more. But I think that the blog should be two blogs, one on how Ortelius manages software bill of materials. And they're just reports, it's just data. And the second blog on how Ortelius scans OSV dev based on the version, the application version SBOM report. if he can write those two, that will be really, he's gonna have some really strong knowledge. So those will be two blogs that I'm happy to help with it, and Jing, I know you are too. So let's get him. That's two more. I think he would have us 4 pull requests if he got those done.
Either that or dishes. Simple.
And here are some places for him to go if you go to the documentation again.
Are you sharing your screen, Tracy?
Oh, no, share screen. Thank you. So if we go back over to the documentation. Not there. Go back over to the documentation. There is OSV dev here. There's a section on OSV dev. I'll put that in here. And then there is a section on SPDX, Cyclone, and SIFT. Now, some of these may not talk about exactly how, but it tells you basically how to do it, but there may be other areas. Let me just capture this really quick for him. Oops, I don't want to do that. Okay, there's other sections in the user guide. That is understanding, adding components and adding applications is what he's going to have to kind of read. So adding components, adding their security posture, and component security posture and application security posture would be the areas that he probably would want to look at to write those blogs. And I suspect he'll be able to do that. And I'm happy to go through and get them edited and get them in before the end of the month, because it'd be great for him to get a badge. Trial by fire is what they call it, right? And it's the only way you learn in technology.
Deep end learning.
I'll create some issues or have Hacktoberfest for both of these. Okay, Jing?
Okay, sure. I'll ask him to have a look to see how he feels about it.
Okay. Well, I'll put them out there in case somebody wants to take them on, because they would be very good articles for LinkedIn, a LinkedIn profile.
Sure. Probably ask him to have a look at the spawn first to see.
Yep. You got it. I wouldn't volunteer him without him knowing it. But it would be good for him to do that. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't want to
Arvin
push him too hard, though.
I know. Arvin can, attest to how much you learn when you write and do things that Arvin knew nothing when he did either. Now he's our go-to guy.
Yeah, I already asked Jing to his son can contact me anytime.
Thanks, Ava. Definitely gonna take that. Yeah.
Okay, so
too,
the last
Jing.
question I have is, let's look at the calendar. And I want to just figure out what day our holiday party is going to be on. We usually do it, I think we usually do it on Friday mornings. If that's not a good time, let's I would say at the latest we do it December 13th, which is Friday the 13th, which is kind of fun. Or we wait and we do it the 20th, which is getting kind of late because that's the week before Christmas, but that's okay too. So I'd say Friday the 13th or Friday the 20th. I think Friday the 6th is too soon for us. We got a lot to do.
I think 13 is better if you are planning any trips, New Year trips.
That's what I think too, because people might take that Friday off, right?
Yes. You
So let's
hang out.
go the 13th. Are we all good with Friday the 13th for our next holiday party?
Sorry, Tracy, I might have a pass because we actually, that's the day we're actually leaving for Japan.
You're going to Japan. That's going to be interesting and fun.
Well,
Yeah, you
we
have.
because of my son, so we can't go this summer. So that's why we're gonna go, Christmas visiting our family, and then Hong Kong and Japan. So a big trip.
Big trip. Well, I know you'll have a fabulous
Yeah.
time.
Thank
And
you.
remember, anything we do, if you or Jesse want to get involved, we record it and we just run the recordings.
Sure. Thanks.
But that just means that Jesse won't get hit. You and Jesse won't be there to get your badges because I'm sure you've earned them. But we'll still celebrate you,
Thanks.
unless we think we could do it on the 6th. Do we feel that we could do it 2 weeks early? Or maybe we do it on Wednesday. We could do it like on Wednesday the 18th. We don't have to do it on a Friday.
Yes.
I'm open to whatever. I would love for Jesse and Jing to be able to be on the call. Anybody have
Yeah,
a?
we can change the date. Let's keep it flexible as we need opinion of more people.
I say we push it to the 18th then. And that gives us, instead of the 13th, it gives us a few more days. But Jing, you'll be in Japan by then, right?
Yeah.
And it's very weird time for you.
So then I say we do it on the 11th.
Yeah, let's shoot for the 11th.
Okay,
Thanks, guys.
absolutely.
What is the day on 11?
Wednesday.
And that would work, I think.
December 11th. And we do it early. We started at 8:30 a.m., 10:30 Eastern time. Okay, I think we got a plan, and I'll start working on the website to bring that stuff up. I might have to come up with some fun names for the demos, and I'm hoping that we can get that Ortelius set up. Just those 3 steps would be great for a demo, a recorded demo for the Jenkins community. All right, let me look to see if there's anything we missed from last week. We did cover data a little bit. There were some pages that I suggested everybody take a look at, but I don't think we have much time. We only have 10 minutes left. So I think we should postpone the dashboard and data discussion. And I know the architecture team is working on it, so I'm not too worried about it for today. Anything else that we need to cover? Oops.
I can think of.
And Brian, you sent me a question about, you had a follow-up that you were supposed to do. Are you still on the call?
No, he left.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll give everybody 9 minutes back of their day. Thank you all, and we'll chat in 2 weeks about this and see where we're at.
Oh, there's everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.